Hey, what's up, y'all? So this is season 5 of the W2 Capitalist podcast, and I was sitting here. This is the third time I've hit record button because I have no script. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. And I don't like any of it, and I've decided that every episode where I do like this is I'm just gonna go, just talk. I'm gonna say a lot. There's gonna be some awkward pauses, but I wanna be more transparent with you guys and more real, like the folks who in the mastermind, the pro community get to hear from me. And right now, and part of the reason why I want to do the podcast this way is my family and we're still doing the nomadic traveling. Right now we're in Blue Ridge, Georgia, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's kind of weird. It's kind of creepy. I'll go into that here in a little bit. But we're here total for a month. So you'll probably see a lot of episodes coming from this angle if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching on YouTube. If you're not, thank you for listening. Never how you're listening. And but yeah, it's been difficult. It was difficult with season 4 to get things scheduled. Everybody's schedule is different, and like for example, we got to this cabin. We're on the side of the mountain. You probably guys are probably getting a little bit of a nature background. I need to do a couple of these takes or go back and listen and see if there's birds, all kind of birds chirping in the background. The Toccoa River is right down below me there, and you might be hearing that. And if you are, that's kind of cool. But I wanted to. I'm having so many what I feel like are solid conversations with folks in the mastermind, and we just have a lot of stuff going on with our portfolio. I thought it'd be beneficial to come and talk with you guys about it and just kind of put stuff out there. So I'm gonna try this for a little bit. I'm gonna give 5, 10, 15 minute maybe daily if I get that ambitious podcast, but it's going to be completely unedited, no ads. I may tell you about a product we use just in reference to whatever I'm talking about, but no ads, no intro, no outro music. It's just content, right? So that's kind of it. I got my microphone. You see the crappy microphone that I travel with right here, which is the only microphone I have, but it looks crappy from this angle. But I couldn't really do any better because it's sitting on top of a couple of DVDs. Those DVDs are not our DVDs. They were here at the cabin. Legally Blonde and Minority Report, which are then sitting on top of 2 puzzle boxes so I could get the right height, whatnot. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Blue Ridge, Georgia. I said something earlier about it feeling scary. I don't know why. We spent about a week here in the area in Cherry Log, which is not a very big city from it's in between Blue Ridge and LJ, right? And so we spent about a week there last summer trying to get a feel for the area. It's actually right in the middle. My parents live 2 hours one way. My wife's parents live 2.5 hours the other way. And we're trying to figure out if we want to do a second home / vacation rental. It's a huge popular market for people. I understand for people in for B&Bs, for folks who live in Atlanta. Atlanta's like 2 hours away. And man, I would definitely want to live up here versus living in Atlanta. But I don't know. It's weird. We spent last month in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and Wares Valley. We absolutely just love that area. But things are not as affordable in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area as they are in Blue Ridge. And so we're kind of getting to know the market. We've got some properties we've been driving around, getting a little bit more familiar with it. It doesn't feel as scary when we first got here. Now, granted, this cabin we're staying in is amazing, right? We got a neighbor over there. We got one back here behind the camera, and then one across the street. And then there's nobody else for like probably about a half mile, right? I love it. I love the serenity of it. We woke up this morning. There was 4 or 5 deer about 20 feet off of this patio. They were there last night eating until the kids screamed at them, whatnot. I probably taught them that. And then you have the sound of the Toccoa River in the background. So it's very, very peaceful. We feel total comfort here at this cabin. But there's just something about the area that we don't know. There's this feeling, and my wife brought it up. Cassie brought it up. She said, "Do you feel safe?" And I was like, "Well, no, I don't. But I don't know if that's just because I'm not familiar with the area, or, I'm going into it with a mindset of, hey, we're potentially going to buy a home here. Is this where I want our kids to be? You know, whatnot. So I don't know. There's just an awkward, like I feel, and so does my wife, but um, I feel drawn to East Tennessee mountains, right? Feel drawn to um, East Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. It could be because we've lived there or we vacationed there for about 10 years consistently. This last time we spent a month there. Last year we spent a little over 6 or 7 months there when we were doing the RV thing. And we just got real familiar with it, got to know, you know, the people and just kind of here we haven't done any of that yet. We haven't spent that amount of time. It feels awkward. It doesn't feel the draw to get here. Now, if we find a property that we absolutely fall in love with, then that'll probably change. But I don't know. I'm curious. If you've ever felt that way, if you've ever felt drawn to a particular part of the world. Outer Banks, we visited Outer Banks a couple. I actually got my T-shirt on from Outer Banks. So Outer Banks, we've traveled there last 2 summers. Hit up Duck, Kitty Hawk, Devil's Hills, and I feel drawn to go back. I don't know what it is because we have a house 15 minutes from the beach in Gulf Breeze, Florida, Pensacola. Most beautiful beaches. We love going there. And spending time there. Matter of fact, my son said to me the other day, proud dad moment. And he said, Dad, he goes, we travel so much and we're gone so much. When we go back home to Florida, I feel like I'm on vacation. And that just blew me away. It was one of those things where I wasn't expecting it. We're sitting there watching TV. I probably have my phone in my hand. He probably has his iPad doing something. And then he just out of nowhere just kind of says this. And it really resonated with me. I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of the point of life, I feel like. And then, I put my dad hat on. I was like, well, I didn't say this to him, but I'm thinking of, you're 8 years old. Isn't every day vacation, right? So you're 8 years old, you homeschool, you're about, we get a lot of questions about homeschool too. So, like you're in school for 2 hours a day, the rest of the time you're just playing. I mean, I don't know. It was kind of funny, but it was, I appreciated the comment. Hopefully he always feels that comfortable with me and my wife. So to be able to, open up and just talk about stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm curious. I would love to hear from you. That's one thing I want to make sure I do a lot this season is ask for your feedback. And I'm going to give you my cell phone number. You can text me. It's 205-249-0248. That is my cell phone number. Or you can email me, j@w2capitalist.com. I really want to know what you guys are thinking, what you're feeling. Have you ever been to a place where you vacationed and this cabin we're in, of course I looked up the value of it. I do that everywhere we go. It's a $500,000-$600,000 cabin, as well as the one next to it, the one behind us, and the one across the street's probably a little bit more than that. So it's not a bad area. Amazing views. I don't know if it's blurry, so I can't really turn that off. But, when I look out that way, there's 3 or 4 houses down there by the river. I really can't see because of the coverage of the trees and whatnot, but there's nothing along this mountainside. And just to give you an idea, so I'm sitting in Georgia, but right over there is North Carolina, and right over there, about 10 minutes, is Tennessee. So it's a really, really cool spot. It just feels weird. I don't know. What else can we talk about this season? Seller financing fell through. We had a potential seller financing deal that fell through. I'll get into that once I get my head out of my rear when it comes to that. Talk about. Oh, let me tell you. So one of the things that I love when we travel is we get to experience wherever we're going, right? And sometimes that means we see some funny signs on the side of the road. I love the what is it? The drug and gun. I've seen that a couple of times where you can go and you can get your prescription filled and you can pick up your 9mm shells, whatever the case is, right? The other the one I saw the other day, it's here in Blue Ridge, big banner, right? And it said, cremate with confidence, right? And it was advertisement for one of those places where the name slips my, I mean, the type of, what's it called? Not moratorium. That's what we went through with COVID, right? That was, anyway, the place that handles dead bodies. I can't think of what, funeral home, maybe, funeral home. And it just made me think, I, I mean, I think about death a lot, what I want to do. We don't have wills, or I don't have a will. And, do I want to be cremated? Do I want to be put in the ground? If so, where? All this other stuff. Those thoughts go through my head. But I've never thought about not having confidence in whoever was doing whatever cremating was going on, right? Now I have so many questions of, does that happen a lot? Like, do you take grandma in and you get somebody's horse or somebody's horse's ashes, or do you, like, why that marketing piece? Like, what has happened here in funeral homes in Blue Ridge, Georgia, that has caused people to think their loved ones are not being cremated with confidence that you're going to get them back or correct? I don't know. I just, it kind of threw me off guard. But this is kind of it. I'm going to limit it to 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes every show. But that's it. I want to give you guys an update on our travels, where we are nomadically, and kick off season 5. And for the next several weeks, you'll probably see this background if you're watching on YouTube. Very fortunate that Cassie took the kids out to the local library today. They're getting a little library time, get some books, hopefully. And yeah, that's it. Guys, I want to hear from you. Text me 205-249-0248 or send me an email, j@w2capitalist.com.